So I feel like throughout your life, you've gone through a lot of ups and downs on the faith spectrum.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to talk about... I stole this from your house
I
last
was
time I
gonna
was
say,
there.
that's my sign.
Yes. You know what? What do you love about this sign? Because I actually feel this like best describes you so well.
That is my sign. Bring that back to my house right now. I love Jesus, but I cuss a little. And yes, I'm trying. I'm trying really hard, Jesus, to be better.
Jesus.
I had a wonderful spiritual guide therapist a couple of years ago, like right after my divorce, who would say, listen, actually she'd start each session with a prayer, end it with a prayer, and in the middle, watch out. All kinds of things flying. And I kind of like that. I feel like that's how most people are. Sometimes you need certain words for emphasis.
He gave them to us, right?
I don't know that Jesus gave us those words. He gave us
the ability to speak.
Oh, the ability.
I'll talk to him about it when I get up there.
Okay. It just blew me up because I do tend to have a potty mouth, but it doesn't mean I'm not like a true believer. Like, what's that balance? That's a great question.
Well,
my priest, every once in a while, drops some language too. He's my hero.
Damn, maybe I need to start going to church with you more often.
Hey, as Catholics.
Okay, the Catholics. Listen, I do think that religion is a recipe, right? I like to think of it as like a chocolate chip cookie recipe. There's like the Toll House staple.
Yeah.
But then you can mix it up and add your own little flavor to it on what is best for you and what speaks to you. So tell me, like, when you were growing up, were you always Catholic? I know, like, with Colonel, it was a very disciplined household. Was it disciplined when it came to religion as well?
My mother was one that grew up Catholic.
Oh,
I'm trying to remember. I think my dad was Episcopalian, actually, which is similar to Catholicism.
Yeah.
But if you're getting married in the Catholic Church, you both have to be Catholic. At least that's how it was back in the day. When I got married in 1999, my ex-husband, he had to become Catholic. He was Christian. And went through all the classes, and it was really a cool process that I learned from, actually, because I do think a lot of Catholics will admit to this. Like, you go your whole life and you do all the things and you stand and sit and kneel when you're supposed to, and you know all the hymns and all the prayers, and but then do you know the why behind it?
Right.
And a lot of people don't. And so, I've learned a lot, especially in the last couple of years. But when I grew up, I was actually an altar server.
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't know that about me.
Are those photos?
I'm sure. I have to ask my parents. But my brother and I were altar service together, of course. And, he'd be like fidgeting and I'd be like, stop it.
I could see you as one. I cannot see your brothers. I feel like they would like totally act up.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is my one brother because the two of us, Chad, because we're closer together in age, and Courtney's like a generation behind us.
True.
He's the only one that was planned, actually. So, yeah, like but here's the thing. What I love about the Catholic faith now, for me, a lot of things about it, but for me that, like, I can go anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, and walk into a Catholic church and be comfortable and know exactly what to do. And it just, I don't know, I feel comfortable there. I feel happy. And especially the last few years where I've really taken a deeper dive into my faith. Yeah,
one of my favorite places, I am not Catholic. I know one time you texted me and you were like, I know you don't believe in God, but can you say a prayer? I was like, I never said I didn't believe in God.
You're one of those, like,
I'm more spiritual. Listen, I grew up like more Methodist, but my best friends were PK, pastor kids, in the Pentecostal church. So, girl, I went there for the party. I didn't know what they were saying in tongues. I'm sorry. I think I tried to speak in tongues one time.
Why'd you say PK? You like mocked them. You're like,
Pastor,
oh, that's a PK?
No, that's like
is that like an insult?
It's like, no, it's like a thing. Like, oh, you PK? Like pastor kid. They know that they call each other that.
Oh, you PK?
So, I always had like this weird relationship with religion because I always felt like people would go to church, be very Jesus-like on Sunday, and then they would leave and be straight up heathens. And I'm like, wait, like, isn't that a little contradictory?
How do you define heathen exactly? Give me one example of heathen.
Oof, I don't know. I don't want to call anyone out.
No, you don't need names, but like,
just doing the exact opposite of what they are acting like in church and preaching and believing and praying about.
Yeah.
So, and pretending that they are still perfect when in fact they are not. I always say, if you're not perfect, don't put it out there that you are.
Totally.
Just zip it. Yes. And work on your stuff, and then, just be authentically kind of own your stuff a little bit.
Right. And I do think there's a lot of people that, of course, you go and then you're all in, but you're also there asking for forgiveness you know?
Yes.
And I do think though, it's like, okay, there's certain things. It's like, okay, I'm asking for forgiveness for this thing I did that I know I'm going to go do again. So
That's the thing.
So
It's like, well, pick your timing on when you want to ask it, because if you know you're going to walk out those doors and do it again, then just pause a little bit. Figure out your
maybe
stuff.
you're asking for strength.
Guidance, asking for guidance.
To have strength to not go do that thing.
I will say, I think, definitely in the past few years, you were tested on your faith big time.
Yeah.
I know I definitely have been tested in my faith. If there was one thing that you could pick, one monumental moment that really made you like literally drop in the moment to your knees or whatever to pray and be like, God, if I need you to get out of this. Like, I can't do this without you. What would that moment be?
I know exactly what it was.
Okay.
I had just gotten suspended from ESPN for my comments on the Jay Cutler podcast. And the most egregious, apparently, comment was about the vaccine mandate. And, ESPN crushed me for that, was not happy with it, even though I complied by getting the vaccine. So then I was completely canceled, and like the internet was going nuts, like another level, and all the physical threats, et cetera. It was bad. You know that, right? You were there. And then I got COVID, like a really bad case of COVID. The irony, of course, after in 2021 getting the shot that was supposed to prevent you from getting COVID, like
You're not supposed to get it,
all the
right?
greatness.
Like,
I
you
know.
don't get COVID
I
if
just
you
love
get
this
it.
topic, but I was really, really, really sick, and I never get sick. It'll be 3-4 years between colds for me.
You were very sick. I saw you before I left San Diego, brought you groceries, and you were like on your deathbed.
Bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
So one night in the middle of the night, I couldn't sleep because my heart was pounding out of my chest. It was racing so bad that I was scared, and for a couple of hours. So I was like, I have to go take myself to the hospital. I mean, again, I'm alone. My kids were at their dad's house because I was sick, and I was completely alone and scared. So I was like, I haven't showered in a couple of days because I've been stuck in bed. I'm going to go take a quick shower before I go to the hospital. And as I got up to take a shower, I fell over. And
oh my God, you could have like hit your head or something in the bathroom.
Well, but that's why I said, if I fall over in the shower and hit my head or anywhere, like no one's going to find me. Tiff, it was probably one of the most lonely moments of my life, because I was completely done and canceled, and I was the worst person ever in media at that moment. And I was alone. I'd never been that alone and scared. So when I was on the ground, I just said a prayer and like, help me to stay safe and get through the night. Like, that's how scared I was. And I'm not a hypochondriac. So I got back in my bed and just prayed that I would wake up in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
I always ask myself, or I try to tell myself, Tiffany, try to pray to God, not just in the moments where you absolutely need him, in the moments of darkness, but also pray to him in the moments of like gratitude and like when you are happy.
Yes.
Because I do feel like we find ourselves reaching for God as like, hey God, like I don't need you all the other times, but I really need you when I'm really down. I need you to dig me out of a hole. I don't know if you ever kind of come across that.
I feel like with you, and you've evolved a lot too the last few years. And actually that trip to San Diego, when I was sick and in bed and all the COVID and the cancellation, you had gone out for a funeral for your uncle, your
my uncle was
beloved
dying.
uncle. Oh, he was still alive?
He was still alive.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got
So
to see him.
It was my last moment to see him. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember something with you that is so healing is the ocean and the water. And I remember you sending me a picture from when you went down to the water and just sat there. And it was sad, but it was also, I think, a moment of gratitude for you, if I recall.
Yeah.
Because you were there, you got there, you got to see him.
San Diego for me is like such a special place. That's where I was born, and my grandparents are buried there. That's where my uncle was. That's where he passed away. I do think in my journey of religion or spiritualism, I found that, I don't necessarily have to go to church. God is kind of everywhere. And for me, God is in nature. God is in the ocean. God is in the redwoods. God is in like national parks, where you're just like not judged and you feel free. and you can scream, you can laugh, you can cry, you can do all those things. Because I did find myself when I would go to church and I would get emotional, I was like, are people looking at me? Like, I need to like conceal my emotion.
Yeah.
Because it is hard. You're like literally standing there with a bunch of strangers. It's like when you go to the bathroom, you ever think like, I'm sitting here going to the bathroom, there's like strangers in here with me. It's weird. It's like the same thing. It's like those moments of like to yourself.
Can we rewind for 10 seconds? Because that does not happen to me on the toilet.
Really? Oh my God. I'm always like in airports.
First of all, you sit on the toilets in airports?
Girl, listen, I don't have quads or glutes like you, okay? So yeah, if I'm tired, I'm sitting on the toilet and I pray for everything that I don't get anything.
You're on the toilet
Praying
at an airport
that I don't get an infection. Yes.
That you don't get an infection? Do you line it with the little paper?
Well, yeah, that's what it's there for. Oh my God.
So you pray?
Of course you're doing a workout in the toilet stall and the bathroom. Of course you would be.
Squatting. You pray while you're detoxing.
I was like, God, don't let me take anything away from this toilet right now. Lord Jesus, baby Jesus. But no, I've always thought about, like, aren't bathroom stalls, like public stalls, weird? It's like we're sitting there and we're with other, like, strangers doing our business. Like, think about it next time.
How did we just go from talking about faith and God and spirituality to public restrooms and how comfortable you are when you're squatting or sitting?
This is our normal conversation, and everyone, welcome to the head of Tiffany.
Can I say this, though?
Firmly, really.
We do have, and I need you to use the proper language here. We do have different takes on bathrooms and being comfortable talking about what happens in bathrooms.
You want to talk about
I'm just saying that, like, she likes to say,
detox.
I'll be right back. I'm going to go detox. I'm like, why do you have to announce it and go downstairs?
Sage likes to pretend like she doesn't do it. She's one of those women like, I don't do that. Even though it's a natural thing that God gave me, I don't do it.
Who needs to know? Do I need to announce it?
Sometimes you do.
No.
Yeah, sometimes you do. It's a courtesy.
No, mine isn't bad enough to need to be a courtesy.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Listen, detoxing, women out there, it is a normal thing. You should be talking about it, bringing it back to Jesus.
Can we pray for us?
He made our bodies like this to do it.
Just
Insert
don't
the poop
announce
emoji right
it.
Now. Okay. Listen, this is just who I am.
Just don't announce it. It makes
my
me
nickname was
uncomfortable.
Fanny growing up. There's probably a reason.
Fanny?
Why it was Fanny. And on that note,
can we please pray for each other? Wait, can I? You know what?
On that note, I love Jesus and I detox a little.
And I believe you gave me this.
Oh, yes, I did. Girl, we don't
There's
have
not
enough
enough sage for us to be talking.
Not for this conversation.
About decaffing.
Decaffeine. Oh, you might actually, if you drink enough, actually, you're not detoxing after decaf because it's not going to do that to you. But if it's real coffee, you need it. All right. On that note, maybe we'll, circle back to religion and Jesus on another time.
I'm going to pray for you.
I'm going to pray for you.
You need help.
Because you cuss a little and you need Jesus. Hey, everyone.